Hello and welcome, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Welcome to your week ahead TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. We are doing the week of the 7th to the 13th of August 2023. I have got three things on the table here today to take us through our TarotScopes for the week. I have got an oracle deck which is called the Signs of the Times Oracle. I have got a tarot which is, and I just forget what it's called, the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. There's so many that use the word enchantment and I get them all mixed up. So the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. And then I have a bowl of charms, which we're going to be using as well. So let's make some space on the table and let's get into the reading. So fire signs. We're starting with the Oracle deck. So this is for Aries, Leo, and Sag. Giving the Oracle a shuffle, setting the intention that we get a good read for the week ahead. What do you need to be aware of? What do you need to know about? What's coming up for you? Where does your focus and where does your energy need to be for the week ahead? Right. Let's take a card and see what our theme is for the week ahead. So, fire signs, we have got the cowrie shell, and the cowrie shell is about abundance. So, cowrie shells are obviously quite easily found in nature, especially if you live on the coastline. I'm going to shuffle the tarot while we're chatting. And they generally they are bountiful. There are quite a few of them out there, so this is why they represent abundance. And generally, especially here in South Africa, a lot of our African traditions, they use the cowrie shell for communication with the ancestors, but also as a sign of abundance. They wear them as necklaces. They use them in various different ways, but it is definitely because they are so plentiful and because they seem to have this kind of never-ending spiral within them. It is the symbol of abundance. So when we talk about abundance, though, just while I continue to shuffle the tarot, when we talk about abundance, we must understand that abundance isn't always, I mean, most of the time, yes, but it isn't always about the positive, happy financial gains, because sometimes we can have an abundance of one thing which actually becomes a little bit excessive and could lead us astray. So we have to make sure that our abundance that we are manifesting, that we are attracting, or that we are wanting is actually not bordering on excessive. Let's see what the tarot wants to add. So today we're only going to draw 3 tarot cards because I want to add in the charms. Or we've got the Tower card, you see. So immediately I took a positive abundance and suddenly I had the urge to talk about the fact that sometimes abundance is not positive. And that's because Spirit was saying to us, we're going to get the Tower card. We also have the 3 of Wands and we have the 5 of Blades. Right, putting the tarot out the way. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab just one charm for each of these 3. I'm not bringing a charm for the Oracle, but I will for these. So let's just grab one here quickly. So just grabbing one. I'm not looking. Oh, got a few there. Okay, we've got a telescope. I'm going to leave it over there. One for the 3 of Wands, please. Okay, and what is this? Oh, look at it. It's a little pram. It's a little baby pram. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, and then we need one for the 5 of Blades. And I have got the all-seeing eye. Right, so we have 3 charms, 3 tarot, and 1 oracle. Let's bring it down in line. So the Tower card, let's talk about the Tower card. So Fire Signs Tower card is the card of destruction. It's the card of suddenly everything collapsing around you. You can see that this particular building, it has been struck by lightning. It is on fire. There is might be difficult to see, but we've actually got some bricks that are falling on the people. She's on the phone. She's calling emergency services, and she's like, somebody come and help quickly. There is chaos. There is chaos. There is chaos. The fact that we have this little telescope is basically saying to us that we mustn't focus on the short-sightedness, remembering we've got abundance, which is plentiful. Okay, so maybe there is plentiful rocks falling. I hope that's not the case literally, but there is plentiful that is happening. There is many things that are going on, and the telescope is basically saying to us, fire signs, that we need to look at the bigger picture. We mustn't just focus on the rocks that are falling, because if there are a couple of rocks, okay, bricks, if there are a couple of bricks falling, there could be an avalanche that comes behind it. So we need to be looking further. We mustn't be short-sighted around the challenges and the problems. So when one thing goes wrong, And this is where we've got the abundance, because when one thing goes wrong, it could be an avalanche of many other things. But if we focus on the bigger picture of the potential of what else could go wrong, we could actually bring things into line and save ourselves, protect ourselves, and prevent it from getting any worse. We look at the Three of Wands, right? Let's take our challenge a little bit further and let's see where it's taking us. So here we have some hikers. They have clearly reached the summit. They have reached the top point of their journey, but that doesn't mean that they're finished. So yes, that was their goal. Their goal was to get to the top of the mountain, and they've reached that, but that's not the end, because now they still have to get down the other side. Okay, so reaching the summit is amazing. It's such a grand moment. Not that I've experienced that personally, but it's such a grand moment of like, wow, accomplishment, achievement. But once they've got there, you don't just like click your fingers and you're back at home sitting on your couch and everything's great. You then have to descend. You have to go back down the other way. We have the little baby carriage here. And it is an old-fashioned baby carriage, an old-fashioned pram. Modern-day prams certainly don't look like that in any way. But what is this pram? It is, first of all, it is a mode of transport. It is protection. It is convenience. Okay, so when we look at what's happening here in relation to everything else, it's basically saying to you, you need to understand that if you are putting yourself in a protection bubble, if you are protecting yourself and keeping yourself secure, it will help you in dealing with all the other things going on around you. Because even though it feels like you've achieved your goals or reached your goals, you've still got quite a lot to do after that. I'm going to change the example here from climbing a mountain to hosting a party. So if you are, or actually let's go to a wedding. You're hosting a wedding, right? So you're getting married. We spend months preparing and planning and coordinating everything for the day. Okay, then on the day, what happens? Everything comes into play. Everybody does their thing. Everybody stands in the right place. The food's great. The venue's great. The music's great. The ceremony's great. The outfits are great. Everything is fabulous. We have an amazing evening, an amazing day. We celebrate the marriage. We celebrate the wedding. We celebrate everything. Everybody goes home, and then somebody's got to clean up. Somebody's got to, put everything back to normal, return things and whatever else. But then you've got a lifetime of marriage that you need to go through. And that's what we're talking about here with this Three of Wands. So, fire signs, Spirit is saying there is a lot going on at the moment. That is what I'm taking from abundance, that there is a lot. Everything might seem a little bit disjointed. Everything might seem like it's falling apart, but focus on the bigger picture. Okay, that's what we've got with the telescope. Focus on the bigger picture and understand that just because you've reached your goals doesn't mean that it's done. There is still so much more that happens thereafter. But as long as you are safe and protected, and as long as you've got a convenient mode of transport, you will be absolutely okay. So don't, like maybe this particular situation of our hikers, maybe once they reach the top of the mountain, maybe a helicopter comes and collects them and takes them down. So it's like you don't always have to stick with the same. If you want to choose a simpler, easier, more convenient option, you absolutely can. Now let's look at this lady with her really grumpy face here. So she is Five of Blades, Five of Swords. And a Five of Swords is, she is running a really, really strict kitchen. She is chopping with precision, okay? There is no conversation. There is no laughter. There is no happiness. It is about regimented control and dominance. So, and even with her finger up, you can almost hear her telling you, no, 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 don't do it like that. So she's working hard. We're working to a process. We're working to a thing. But the issue that we have here is that sometimes by being so hard, she's actually ensuring that things work out the way that they need to. So sometimes we have to take the tough route. That's how I'm interpreting it for us today. We have this eye here, and the eye is why I interpreted the buggy or the pram the way that I did, because it's basically saying we need to keep our eye on the big prize. We need to keep our eye on what's going on, and also this is Spirit saying to us that you are protected. There's a lot going on. We know that, okay? We've got abundance going on here. There is a lot going on. It may feel a little bit disruptive. It may feel like, oh my gosh, and then just as you think you've reached your goal, it's like you're only halfway and suddenly you have to do things again. And also sometimes it feels like the life has been sucked out of the party because everybody's being really strict and everybody's being really pedantic is a word that I want to use here. You know, there's this kind of repetitive chop, 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 chop. And sometimes we feel like, where's it going to go? Like, what is the point behind this? So Spirit is saying we need to not focus just on the problems this week. We need to look at the bigger picture. We need to make sure that we are practicing protection at all times. And we need to know that Spirit are watching over us and guiding us through the whole journey. So fire signs, in a nutshell, there is a lot going on this week. Brace yourself, okay? Brace yourself. Aries, Leo, and Sag, buckle your seatbelt, strap yourself in to your vehicle of choice, strap yourself in, and you know, just focus on the things that are important. Make sure that you're looking at the bigger picture. So when a couple of bricks start falling on around you, you know, don't focus on the bricks, focus on the bigger picture. With the Tower card, what I didn't mention earlier on is that when we have this kind of destruction in our lives, the message or the moral or the thing that we need to focus on is not the destruction, but it's the rebuilding after. Because the Tower card says that sometimes things have to collapse, and when they collapse and we rebuild them better, bigger, stronger, more productive, more conducive, just better. You know, if you think about I'm going to look at ants as an example. They go through this whole thing of building this beautiful big ant's nest or ant's cave or whatever you want to call it, and then wind comes or rain comes or an animal comes or a human comes or something, and squashes their anthill completely. So do they throw their hands up in the air and go, oh no, what are we going to do? No, they immediately carry on rebuilding, but they now make it bigger and stronger, adjust a couple of things here and there to recreate it, because that's just the cycle of life. And I think this is exactly what this message is saying, is that sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes we have a little bit of chaos, but it's how we respond to that chaos. It's whether we choose the easy route, whether we choose the hard route, or whether we choose the convenient route to get ourselves out of that situation, to move beyond that matters. But sometimes we have to follow the letter of the law. Sometimes we have to become the nasty person in order to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And fire signs, that's you this week. You might need to be this lady. You might need to wag your finger at people to make sure that they do things your way, so that you have a handle on everything and so that you are not getting caught up in the chaos. I think it's a very powerful reading this week. I'm wishing you all a lot of love, because, yeah, it looks like we're in for an interesting one. I do hope that this sort of helps you to navigate when and if it happens for you. Take it easy, be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself. Thanks for being here with me, Fire Signs, as always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.